We begin with Adrian Peterson, who will likely be arrested again because yesterday, as he was providing a urine sample as part of the bail they gave him the last time they arrested him, he reportedly told a staffer that he just, quote, smoked a little weed. How freaking stupid is this guy? His NFL season is almost certainly over. His career is circling the drain, if not down it. He only had to take a urine test because he's out on bond after being arrested for whipping one of his estimated 6 children with a small tree branch. One of the conditions of them giving him bail for this nauseating act was that he not use any recreational drugs. And unlike all the other not-so-bright athletes out there who still have the presence of mind to wait until at least after they seal the cap on the specimen jar, while he is tinkling, Adrian Peterson says to the sample collector from Montgomery County, Texas, quoting court documents, he had smoked a little weed before the test. As a result of this act of imbecility, which is rivaled in NFL history perhaps only by the day George Rogers of the New Orleans Saints tried to buy cocaine at the Pro Bowl and pay for it by personal check, the district attorney in Texas has asked the judge to revoke the $15,000 bail and have Adrian Peterson arrested again no sooner than tomorrow. The sports world has never been short of participants who really surprise you with their ability to find their homes each night. They advance by dint of a singular skill, and if they lack other areas of expertise, teachers and coaches and university athletic departments and business managers and agents and dozens of other enablers serve as human shields for them. Same goes for television, same goes for entertainment, but eventually the ones who last, even the dumb as a bag of hammers ones who last, figure out not to say anything or do anything publicly before consulting a grown-up. I mean, for crying out loud, Adrian Peterson can't even blame telling the specimen collector that he'd smoked a little weed on his being less than clear-headed because he'd smoked a little weed. This is the third time this week he has reached face-palm grade levels of stupidity. You will recall that when the Minneapolis Star-Tribune printed its devastating deconstruction of Adrian Peterson's character and the irregularities alleged in his charity, the paper quoted police records in which Peterson's own uncle, who was there with him at what the man described to police as a Peterson sex party at a hotel in 2011, also told police that he had paid for the hotel room by using the credit card of Peterson's All Day Inc. Peterson took to Twitter to blame the media and explain the charge was nonsense. It couldn't be true because Journalism 101. 1, my uncle and I never owned a foundation credit card. 6, make headlines by calling something an orgy, even though it was not, and incorrectly saying a foundation card was used, even though my uncle and I never owned one. All Day Inc. is a totally different entity than the AP All Day Foundation. 7, do not retract the false allegation because everyone believes the false allegation because it was printed first. 9, instead repost the story about father-children out of wedlock. Creates more buzz and retweets. And more children, I might add. 10, I guess never let the truth get in the way of a great story. 11, take time to be great and to get it right. The orgy story can't be true because that was no orgy. I'll show you an orgy. And the we use the charity credit card to pay for the orgy-like event can't be true either because neither Peterson nor his uncle owned a charity credit card, and because out of nowhere Peterson then reveals they paid for it with their company credit card by volunteering without being asked that, quote, All Day Inc. is a totally different entity than the AP All Day Foundation. Well, that's great. You didn't try to palm off the costs of the hotel room for the family gathering as a charitable deduction. You tried to palm off the cost of the hotel room for the choir practice as a business deduction. That'd be the family gathering / choir practice at which, according to the police report, one of the women you were having practice with got jealous because she saw you practicing with another woman, and that led to an hour-long argument in which the woman professed affection for you, and you had to explain to her that she knew in advance you were engaged to a third woman and having another baby with a fourth woman. Come to think of this, when telling the sample collector that you had smoked a little weed before the test is not the dumbest thing you've done all week, you are in serious trouble. Because as darkly, cynically, tragically, forehead-smackingly hilarious as that might be to some of us, or as the credit card explanation might be, or as the argument in which one invokes one's commitment to 2 women who aren't at the choir practice already in progress, might be the stupidest thing Adrian Peterson did all week is none of the above. Through his lawyer, Rusty Hardin, last seen representing Roger Clemens, we all know how unscathed Roger Clemens came out of his legal experience, Adrian Peterson, just the other day, refused to take any kind of plea deal A nation recoils at the idea of a star athlete who thinks beating a 4-year-old child with a small tree branch is okay just because his own parents abused him the same way and because clearly all that physical discipline resulted in Adrian Peterson growing up to be a model citizen. And our legal system affords the same star athlete the opportunity to take a deal, presumably to avoid prison time, because what kind of prosecutor wants that kind of optics? And the door remains open for him, making this all go away quickly so that he might even play again this season, maybe, and begin to repair his reputation. And he won't take that deal. So instead of making his way back to a nation that will forgive almost anybody, almost anything, yesterday Adrian Peterson is still technically out on bail, still being forced to stand in front of somebody else with a cup in his hand and his choir practice in his other hand. And he's too damn stupid to not boast to the lab tech that he just smoked a little weed. You, sir, deserve anything you get.